I live on the outskirts of a quiet, upper-middle-class suburban neighborhood. It's not part of the HOA that governs the nearby cluster of cookie-cutter homes. They just think they control everything within shouting distance. My property is older, grandfathered in, and most importantly, built on a separate private access easement. The road leading to my home? I paid for it. I maintain it. The legal deed marks it as mine. But somehow, Karen, yes, that kind of Karen had decided it was part of her community road. Why? Because she said it looked too nice to be privately owned. Her words, not mine. At first, I laughed it off. I'm a quiet guy, work from home, not looking for drama. But soon enough, it wasn't funny. She started using my road as a shortcut to avoid the main gate. Every morning, her massive SUV came roaring down the gravel like a tank, speeding through as if she owned the place. She'd wave sometimes, sarcastically, like she knew she was getting away with something. It didn't stop there. Next came her guests. Birthday parties, cookouts, even a book club where a dozen minivans parked on my road, blocking my own access. I had to knock on car windows just to leave my driveway. And each time, I stayed calm. I documented everything. Time-stamped photos. License plates. Security cam footage. I was building a case. Not for the HOA, they had no power over me, but for what I was about to do next. But then Karen escalated. One afternoon, I returned home to find a bright orange violation notice zip-tied to my mailbox. It claimed I was improperly storing construction equipment and blocking community access. I was confused until I realized the so-called equipment was a small trailer I'd parked temporarily to move gravel for my driveway. And the community access I was apparently blocking? My own road. I called the HOA. Big mistake. They treated me like an outsider. Claimed I benefited from their security, I didn't. That I was within visual jurisdiction. What? They tried to fine me. I laughed. Then I sent them a copy of the property map, the road deed, and a notarized letter from the county zoning office confirming they had no authority over my land. They went silent for a while. Then Karen struck again. I installed security cameras along the road entrance my right. Within 48 hours, someone had spray-painted over the lenses and dumped garbage on the base. I reviewed the footage. It was her. Bold as daylight, in her jogging outfit, looking straight into the lens before covering it. That was it. I'd tried reasoning. I'd tried ignoring. Time for something permanent. Enter the gate. I designed it myself. Steel reinforced, sonar-powered, and smart-controlled from my phone. With cameras. Floodlights. Motion sensors. It wasn't just a gate, it was a statement. I poured a concrete base, installed it over the weekend, and placed 3 bright private property toll road signs on either side. And here's the best part. I added a toll system. Not for everyone, just for her. You see, technically, I couldn't stop emergency vehicles or county workers. But private cars? That's different. And because her vehicle had used my road over 117 times in the last 6 months, I calculated the wear and tear, gravel maintenance, and property depreciation. Then I billed her $2.25 per trip. Total invoice? $263.25. I mailed it to her. Certified. The next morning, Karen exploded. She marched up to the gate now, firmly closed and screamed into the camera. Threatened to call the cops. I welcomed it. When they arrived, I showed them the deed, the footage, the invoices, everything. They told her to leave or risk trespassing charges. She wasn't used to losing. That's when she convinced the HOA to host a special vote to annex my road. Seriously. They tried to change their own bylaws to declare my land part of their jurisdiction. I attended the meeting with a real estate attorney. The room was full. Karen was in the front row. Smug. Until the attorney dropped the bombshell, annexation required unanimous consent of affected landowners and I was the only one. I declined. Game over. But I wasn't done. With all the documentation, I filed a civil harassment claim and a small claims suit for vandalism and trespass. The judge sided with me. Karen was fined $750. The HOA was forced to send out a formal apology. Their lawyer fees? North of $5,000. And the cherry on top? I installed a second gate at the opposite end of the road and turned the whole thing into a private driveway. Fully enclosed. Karen now had to go the long way around an extra 12 minutes every morning. She tried to petition the county to force me to open it. The county denied it on the record citing her past behavior. But here's the twist. After all the drama, several of her neighbors came to me privately. Apologized. Said they never agreed with her but felt trapped. We ended up creating a small local group to monitor HOA abuse and educate homeowners on their actual rights. It grew. So much so, a few board members resigned and new leadership took over. Karen? She put her house on the market 6 months later. Listed it as a quiet corner lot with private access. I laughed out loud when I saw the listing. Her reign of petty control was over. All because she couldn't respect a simple road. And me? Well, I still live here. Gate secure. Driveway clean. And not a single SUV in sight unless it's invited. Sometimes the best revenge isn't yelling or fighting. It's building a smarter system and charging toll fees to the ones who try to abuse it.